to Toronto TV. Today we have two special guests from US. One is Vivian Yip Keller, and the other one is Stewart Cohen. Vivian is a real estate consultant, and Stewart is a photographer. And now my co-host Linda Zhang will join me for this interview. Can I ask Vivian starting, introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Vivian Yip, and I actually used to live in Toronto. Long story is a little background story is I was one of the first co-hosts for Joseph on Toronto TV back in 2005. And I had my own little channel called Vivian's Choice before I ended up moving to Chicago. So unfortunately, that career was very short-lived, but ever since then, I moved to Chicago for 10 years. Now I live in Austin, Texas, and I am a full-time real estate investor and midterm rental host. So my company is in the background.
How about you, Stewart?
Good morning. My name's Stewart Cohen. I live in Dallas, Texas, actually from Montreal, but I've been in the States since college. I am a director and a photographer, and we have a production company based in Dallas, and that's how I met Vivian. We did a little project with her.
Okay.
I think Stewart's being a little bit humble. He is an award-winning director.
Oh. We make commercials and still photography for companies all over the world. We travel a lot, but we found a home here in Texas, and it's been a good place to base out of. I still miss living in Canada, but it's a good thing here.
Yeah. So, I mean, making money still in the US better than Canada. So.
I didn't say it. You said
Okay.
it. You
I
said
say
it.
it. Yeah, we are all Canadians right here. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, let's see. So Vivian, I know that you had the beautiful girl when I met you, young, energetic, and then lots of hair. Now you have a different look. And can you tell us, like, I think you get the hair loss problem and how you adapt to it, or you change your lifestyle?
Yeah, I actually was 12 years old when I first discovered a bald spot on my head. And ever since I was 12, I was diagnosed with alopecia areata, which is an autoimmune disease. What the trigger is very hard to identify. It could be different things for different people. Sometimes it's stress, sometimes it's diet. For me, it's really hard to tell, like, what 12-year-old is going through stress. So I don't really know what triggered mine. Mm-hmm. And over my entire lifetime, I would have bald spots appear on my head. I would go to the dermatologist. I would get steroid shots in my head, and 3 weeks later, it would grow back. So pretty much my entire life, I had it under control. But in 2020, I took a new role at the company that I was working with, and it became one of the hardest jobs I've ever had in my entire life, not only because the work was difficult, it was rewarding, but difficult. And we were in the middle of a pandemic. And considering the position is in both supply chain and operations, you're working on the most important product for this company. That's what their legacy product is. Your kids are at home. There's no summer camp. All of these contributions probably, became this really big stress factor for me. And eventually I just saw my hair falling out in big clumps. I would look down on the ground after every meeting that was on Zoom or WebEx, and my hair I would just have piles of hair on the floor. And by the time I was able to look up in the mirror, coming out of a break or whatnot, I could see that my hair was really, really coming out fast. And I would say that it took about 8 to 10 weeks for all the hair to come out.
Mm-hmm. So
it's my new look.
Okay.
The highlight is that I get a lot of compliments from people that my head is perfectly shaped. So I think if I were to put an egg right here, it would probably be the same size shape.
But you look great, Yeah. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. But you don't put on wigs, right? So.
I live in Texas. It's very hot here in the summertime. And at the end of the day, if this is what I was given, a perfect head, why not show it off? The wigs are too hot, too itchy. And I've gotten used to this look, and I'm okay with it.
I see. Do you have like lots of friends ask you the question why you got you because of the sickness, right? But some people they say they like the gentleman they take a forehead, but they cut the hair, they shave the hair. So do you get lots of people ask you question why you take a forehead approach or?
Actually, no one really asks me too much. Sometimes they'll ask me if I have cancer, and I always respond back that I'm absolutely so grateful that my health is 100%. I'm not sick. I just don't have hair. It literally just doesn't grow.
So Linda, your question? Or?
Yes, it's beautiful. I love your style, and also you matches your eyelashes and your eyebrow. Everything goes very well. Not just the head of your shape, but everything goes very stylish. So it's amazing that it happened like quickly in short time, and you're able to transition yourself into a new look. And it seems like you enjoy it, and you're very confident about it. How did you go over that from I don't have my hair, and then I love my look?
I want to put it this way first, is that losing your hair in such a quick amount of time was not easy for me. Much like many people suspect, it was a traumatic time because, you spend your entire life doing your hair, putting it in ponytails, getting styled, going to the hair salon, changing your looks. So I did go through a time where it was very traumatic for me, where I wasn't sure how to proceed next, whether I wear a wig or cover it. And, I started focusing on things that made me happy instead of looking in the mirror because that made me unhappy. I'm a really strong believer in energy, and how you use your energy is how you're going to direct your life. And I knew that if I continued to harness the negative energy from looking in the mirror, that was just going to pull me down. So I really focus on doing things that made me happy. And, and part of what makes me happy is just achieving things. So I like challenging myself, accomplishing them, and moving on to the next project. And, I just continue to do that. And that really helps me with my confidence level, because I know that my hair is not doing those things. It's me.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's how you assess yourself and how you react to the change, right? Thank you for the tips. It's amazing. And I love the style that you have now. So from with hair, with no hair, did you change your look, different colors, or maybe some kind of different eyelashes, different color of, combination of tone instead of style?
Well, eyelashes, I actually only recently learned how to put them on. So I spent almost 2 years without eyelashes. And I'm really thankful that I got my eyebrows shaded before I lost everything. So at least I have my natural arch. In terms of my makeup, I don't think my makeup's really changed too much. My skin texture's changed. So I'm inspiring a friend of mine to try and develop a skincare line of products just for alopecians, because we have a really different skin. So it's hard for us to find products that work for us. So yeah, I just learned how to do eyelashes recently, and I'm so happy, because that's probably one of the things that I miss the most about having hair, is having my eyelash extensions.
No, you look beautiful like this. So, when we're talking about style, right? Perhaps we can go to Stewart to see, how do you, as a photographer, how do you look at, the beautiful style that Vivian has and other people that you have worked with?
Well, we started this project, and is going to be a story about empowerment, and how these women that we featured they all had alopecia, but yet they're living confidently out in the world, not wearing wigs, and being very confident. And at first, I thought it would be a story about how hard it's been, the challenges of realizing you have alopecia and then losing your hair, and then how, I would think it would be a big blow to somebody's confidence. And what I found with these people, especially Vivian, is they're super confident. And we did a little scene, and I don't know if you're going to show part of the video, but where we had them in wigs talking about how people transition from wearing wigs to going, without any hair. And the truth is, she looks better without her hair. With hair, she's a beautiful woman. There's no question, but there's something very distinctive. But I think if you think about the level of confidence that I'm sure they have to dig down inside to find, to be totally confident out in the world like that, it's something that most people never have to deal with, and it's very admirable, And I think she looks great without hair.
You have a name for this project, or what's the main objective? Like, it's a charity raising money or anything?
The project all started as an interest story, which was not funded. So we self-funded the project, and we found one of these women who helped engage some of the other women, like a woman in Chicago who knew Vivian, and that's how we got to know each other. Mm-hmm. So initially, it's about an awareness. I like stories of empowerment, and it's an awareness story for alopecia, but people that have really overcome, I think, something that could be a huge blow to their confidence. So right now, it's not funded by any one company, and there's no money behind it. It's something. The hope is we cut something, a very general awareness story, and we put it out there in hopes of just driving overall awareness to alopecia and the a couple of really wonderful women who have really made their lives good, even better. It's like, I think, Vivian, you said it, alopecia. Oh God, it didn't make me. What was that quote you said? There was something. Alopecia doesn't define me. Well, whatever it is, yeah. But I truly question, if you think about what you are and the persona you have, with your real estate company, do you think if this never would have happened, you had that in you already, or do you think this helped you push you to achieve more and to be more confident out there in the world?
I was in this interesting period of time where I was wanting to transition out of corporate, the corporate life. And before you decide to quit a high paying job, you have to find something else that's going to replace it. So on the side, we were investing in real estate and flipping houses and all that stuff. And, there comes a point in time where you're like, okay, is it worth it to quit my job now, or do I continue working my job? And you go through this balancing act of wondering when is the right time to pursue your dreams. Mm. And I think we all go through that when we get to that point in our life when it's time for a transition. And for me, looking in the mirror was the biggest signal that it was time to quit my job, because not only were we already successful in real estate, but I was being dragged down by all the incredible amounts of stress that I was having. So that was just, a clear signal. People are always looking like, oh, when do I do this? When do I make this change? Well, my signal was really clear because I'd lost all my hair. I was so unhappy. It helped me transition. So to answer your question, Stewart, I think it gave me courage.
Exactly. And I think that courage shows. Yeah.
In every once in a lifetime, money is always a big factor, right? So as I say, for Vivian, this time is high-paying job, lots of money, maybe bring along stress, bring along unhappiness, right? So quitting the high-paying job and then move to the one you like the real estate business, it seems like you're happy. So
I'm very happy.
Yeah, so
I get to work for myself. Yeah.
Sometimes we say money can buy happiness.
That's correct.
Yeah, maybe that's the motto we have. Okay, so.
But she had if you think about it, that's right, and sometimes a little adversity in people's lives help them excel beyond what they might have achieved had it not happened. And I think I can't say that this is an example of that, but I definitely did not get in the way. The other thing you could think of is, if somebody had that diagnosis and had to live with alopecia and losing their hair, they could become a recluse even. I mean, you could see that happening, but I think it did the opposite for all the women we interviewed. They are out there and really living their best lives.
Mm-hmm.
I think it really has to do with mindset. Mindset is so important, right? When something traumatic or something tragic happens or something bad in your life happens, if you change your mindset to receive the good or to look at it in the positive way, it can really help you go through something like this.
Yes, and also you mentioned that you have children, right? So being a mom, what do you see, like your change being unhappy to being positive? How do you see your kids, react to that, or what kind of impact do you have on them?
Well, my daughter has a beautiful, beautiful head of hair. She's 11 years old, so she's going through this preteen period where they're really focusing or learning more about how beautiful and their beauty standards and whatnot. And I hope that I'm giving her being a really great role model to let her know that, vanity isn't everything, that there's so much more. And I just want her to really focus on making her happy and doing things that, I don't know. I just hope that I'm a positive role model for them to know that things like this, when your health is good, that it's just hair and it shouldn't let you slow you down.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's just it. Yeah. Vivian told me that September is the month for the alopecia. Is that right?
It's Alopecia Awareness
Month. Yeah, September. I don't know if it's the same in Canada or not. So maybe we can, like using Stewart's material, your initiative, we're trying to do anything in Canada, see if we can get international responses to the same sickness. All right. But on the other hand, we can also mention that somebody asked you, are you getting the cancer? I think people, they have cancer or they use the chemotherapy, maybe they will lose hair too, right? So that could be another good thing for Steve to think about, say that bald girls not only happen to alopecia and also some other sickness, and then if the cancer patient, they have the same kind of confidence like Vivian or other bald girls, they will make their lives happier or more encouraging. That's just a piece of mind in my suggestion.
Yeah, and I think that's an important role that Gina played in our group. Gina was one of the volunteers for, she was the makeup artist that helped style us during this photo shoot.
Okay.
And that's really the main part of her business, is helping those patients, those that are actually sick or those that have facial deformities, learn to do their own makeup and feel beautiful and whole again. So definitely, she was
so we can try connecting it, see if we can do anything for the community or for the world, right? So Stewart, you have any expectation, because you know that you're great. You fund the project yourself, you spend your own money and try to do something good. You have any expectation or outcome from this initiative?
I really didn't. I think the expectations are, can we get a really nice piece? What we do is we'll take this edited piece and we'll use it. We do work with a lot of big advertisers also in our commercial space. So the thought is, I think it's an empowering story, and I think the ad community always loves empowering stories. So we'll use it to help us there, but also I wanted to do some good with it. And I think, we've done a few stories just about just people overcoming things and people with ideas even that make them happen. It's just good stories, So really, I don't have any real preconceived expectations or requirements, of what we want this to bring, except hopefully awareness and maybe some new friends. Like I'm friends with Vivian now, There you go.
I really hope for you, Stewart, that this is going to go viral, because at the end of the day, like when you see this piece, Joseph and Linda, you're going to see how powerful the message is. Not only, I mean, I don't even think my message is that powerful. I think Caroline, for instance, she talks about how she's never had hair her entire life. Ever since she was 4 years old, she's been completely bald. She didn't have the advantage that I had of having hair my entire life and feeling pretty amongst the other girls. She had to learn how to love herself, and her parents taught her how to love herself. That's a whole different experience than I had, you know. And then there's Manitha, who until recently, her husband and her children had never seen her bald head before. So now she's living this free life to embrace what she has. And you're going to see this in Stewart's reel. It is absolutely so empowering. And I know, Stewart, that this video is going to take a life on its own, and it's going to do so much to inspire other people that are going through this.
Well, I hope it will. And you know, we are trying to attach it to, you know, an alopecia support group. If there is one, I think that's worthy of it, just so they could help disseminate it, because it's a message, obviously, that anyone with alopecia should see it. And our distribution is smaller than some of these groups that might have global distribution, you know, of support groups. So our hope is that it gets picked up by some of those support groups, so everyone could take advantage of the message.
Yeah. Let's spread out the words of encouragement, right, to the world.
Exactly.
And I think, personally, more important than spreading this to other women, I think, you know, it's really important to spread this to children, because children, they're still learning about who they are. Whereas, you know, the 4 women that were at that photo shoot, we've learned who we are over time. But with today's pressures of social media and all that kind of stuff, you know, children are definitely more sensitive to this.
Well, that's kind of the idea, really, is like, yeah, you know who you are, but at the same time, you know, it's your message that's going to help these kids.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important to get it out there.
Yeah.
So at the end of this interview, you know, today is the International Women's Day, and I asked Linda or Vivian, share your feeling about this important festival for you ladies. That would like Vivian.
Actually, I'm going to admit, I only knew that it was International Women's Day this morning when someone delivered me some cookies. Other than that, I really, you know, I believe so strongly in helping other women, uplifting them and empowering them, which is one of the reasons why I run a real estate group here in Austin. You know, we have over 1,000 women that are part of our group. I think it's really important just to be an inspiration to help others fulfill their dreams and not let anything stop them. So women, you know, it's an interesting statistic considering I'm in real estate. There's a stat that was released, I believe, by the New York Times that says that more single women own real estate today than single men. So I was like, yes, empowering women.
Great.
I love that.
That's great.
I will share actually, I am Women in Tech, so I will be going to a J Mission Women in Tech, leading by, you know, Canadian minister who is a woman marrying, going to UK. So I'm going to spend the next week with a bunch of women who is going to inspire me, and we can work together.
Great.
Love that.
Yep.
Safe travels to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah.
Okay. Good. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Linda, Stewart, and Vivian. It's nice talking to you all. And then we will keep in touch and see how we can help with those alopecia.
Yes,
all right. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.